if you go on a high-speed Shinkansen train in Japan, and if by chance you get a rather new train, you'll probably notice that the nose of the train is really, really long. And in some more recent trains, it will almost look oddly shaped. So, why is it shaped like this? Well, the first series of Shinkansen had a pretty short nose, but this would create a problem. So when the train would enter a tunnel, and Japanese high-speed rail had many tunnels because of the country's mountainous nature, it's not very aerodynamic. So there's going to be a lot of air that's going to resist the train. The train is going to kind of compress the air inside the tunnel. As it finally comes out, there's going to be a massive boom from all that compressed air being released out of the tunnel. And essentially, it's because the train entering the tunnel, it's going to push against the air. And since Japanese trains are of a very high frequency nature, residents who live near these tunnels may experience these really, really loud booms a couple times an hour. And that's really not a good thing. So to keep these people happy, at first, these trains could only run at around 90 kilometers per hour when entering a tunnel, which isn't really all that fast. So to counter this problem, they increasingly started developing trains with longer noses, which would be more aerodynamic. And eventually, as they perfected this design, they actually took to nature for assistance. So they noticed that a bird called a kingfisher, which had a long beak, it would dive into the water to catch prey. And as it dove into water, it would create a very small splash because its long beak was fairly able to penetrate the water without much resistance. And so the Japanese increasingly began incorporating a bird's beak almost kind of shape into their trains, which would make their trains as aerodynamic as possible, which would make a minimal resistance of air when you're passing through a tunnel, so the air can easily still flow past the train instead of being compressed like it was with the older model. So this boom can be alleviated, and these trains can now travel at almost full speed when going through a tunnel. So yeah, the long and oddly shaped noses of the more recent Shinkansen trains actually serve a good purpose.